Jack Corr, who's going to be making his professional debut at Chaos this weekend. So I want to thank you very much for joining me. How are you feeling making your pro debut at a show like Chaos? We all know what the Millennium Forum's like. We all know what the show's like, the crowd. How does it feel to be for that to be your platform for your professional debut?
Yeah, it's amazing. I've been amateur for a long time. Like this week is actually the 7 year anniversary from when I made my amateur debut, like as an 18-year-old. So like I've been amateur for a long time, fought the best, and so like pro debut main event in the Millennium Forum looks like a cracker setup. Like so, I'm absolutely buzzing to be making my pro debut on Chaos. Conor McGregor's fought in the show, like so to be making my pro debut down in Derry, and I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic show. Like I said, there's been so many fighters that have fought on that show that have gone on to do bigger things as well. It's a fantastic platform. Like I said, the atmosphere, the Millennium Forum is just, I think it's probably one of the best venues you can have with the tiered seating. It's fantastic. But like I said, you were an amateur for a long time. You fought mainly in the IMAS, so you fought the best of the best. And then obviously you fought Kieran Brady twice just before this as well, in two very, very tight contests, and one of them he could have been finished in the first as well. So, and you
Should
see,
have been Kieran.
and you see that he went on to Fortress and he's what he's done, and then obviously your as well. Was it like fighting the likes of him and going so tight with him and nearly finishing him, thinking like you are up there with the best, so it is time, like you said, after this length of time? Was that one of your reasons, or what was your reasoning for going pro now?
So I think it was a big mix of different reasons. I fought in martial arts and different martial arts all through my childhood, right up until I was 18. Like, well, still doing it now, but like right through my childhood, teenage years, I was fighting in different types of martial arts competitions. So it's always been part of my life. And then as soon as I hit 18, straight in at the deep end and entered the IMOFs and won my debut at the IMOFs. And back when I was fighting, like people don't remember, like there was no under 21 division. So I think the first four IMOFs I competed in, up until I was 20, up until I was 20, they were all like just open divisions. So I was always a good bit younger than everyone I was competing against. So, some tight losses in there as well. But like I was always competing against my debut, and then the second fight in that tournament after my debut, the guy I fought was 11-2, and I had just made my debut the day before. You're not going to get that fighting on shows here, do you know what I mean? But I was straight in there and like fighting high level guys, and then you know fighting through them. I was thrown straight into the deep end, but it was great for experience. And looking turning pro now, you're like, you had some losses there, like, but it's a real builder for fighting people back here. So like you look at people like Kieran Clark, like he didn't have a perfect amateur record, and he's gone on and he's winning. He's undefeated at pro now, like, and he was fighting at the same IMS I was fighting in. And then when I came back after COVID, I had a bit of a break, and then I fought Adrian Barrow first, who's a really good fighter. One handy enough against him, and then two fights against Kieran Brady. And the second one there, like the second one, I thought I could have scraped it, but it was, both fights were flip of a coin, like, and you just look at how much of a role Kieran's been on since after them, like beating like really top level guys, and no one's given as much bother as I have. Like in the first fight when I was fighting Kieran Brady, last round, near submitted him a few times, near finished him. Second fight, dropping him twice in the first 9 seconds. It's even hard coming back from a loss in a rematch, like getting your head right for stuff like that. I think it's easier fighting someone you haven't fought before in some ways, because you're like, you don't know what they're gonna feel like. Whereas leading up to that rematch with Kieran, I was sort of like, I actually built him up a bit more than what I remembered, in that whole training camp. So I was sort of like, he's the like physically strongest guy I fought, and I was like, he's like the fucking Hulk or something when I was like in training camp. And then the second time when I was fighting him, I was like, oh fuck, he's not even. But I built it up in my head. So then I was like, I hit my 25th birthday there, and I was like, I'll have a few more amateur fights, and then hopefully turn pro maybe in a year or two. And this, so I was gonna try and get onto that clan wars what happened there, and then I ended up having something with work, so I couldn't get on it. So then I agreed really early this fight, with Chaos with Jason McCabe. So it was actually meant to be amateur. Um, so it was meant to be amateur for ages, and then I found out when I was just sitting in work one day that the guy I'm fighting agreed to a pro fight over in England the same day this one was meant to happen, and I was like, I was like fucking raging, like I was sitting there going, what the hell? My dad was away over in Poland, so I couldn't even get a hold of him. Do you know what I mean? So I was just sitting there, man, going, what the hell? And then the next day, Jason was like, would you? I think the guy I'm fighting was sort of, I don't know what he was thinking, but he was like, "Oh, I'll take a pro fight." But I was kind of annoyed because it was agreed so long. Like I was like, "You have loads of time to agree a fight without pulling out of this one." So then I got switched. Jason McKay was like, "Do you want to fight him pro?" And I was like, I've been thinking about it. And the longer you stay at amateur, I feel like you're always like, "Oh, when's the perfect time?" And I actually feel like you start putting more pressure on yourself because you're like, "I can't go pro until flawless performance and like going a friggin' 10 fight unbeaten streak." And you're like, but then you're like, who you fighting? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I think how impressive Kieran's been after our fights has sort of made me go, like I'm at that level. And what's a better time to fight, make your pro debut than against someone you were training for amateur? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as if you're fighting someone who's fought pro before. Like, you're both in the same boat. So that pushed me, and then I was like, why not? Like, can't wait for it. Like,
Yeah, no, it is good. And like you said, with the fights with Kieran, with how well he's done, you're looking at yourself going, like, I think you talked about it. I said, like, you're up there. Like, the fight you had was so close with him. And like I said, flip of a coin. And you're talking about leading up to that fight as well, that you built him up because you'd fought him before, you knew you might do this, you might do this. Whereas if you went in someone brand new, you'd just implement kind of what you wanted to do. And
yeah,
it's funny you bring up Kieran Clark as well, because he's someone I always mention to amateurs. I think he was
yeah,
13 and 10 or 12 and 10 or something. But look what he's gone on to do. And he
yeah,
said the same thing. There's never going to be the perfect time. So you just need to go ahead and do it. And he's done fantastically. And hopefully you will carry that through
yeah.
into it. So once you find, how far out did you find out that this was going to be pro? And did that change your camp essentially?
Yeah.
Or did it get more intense, or is it more the same?
Yeah, so I think I found out maybe it must have been it must have been about 5.5 weeks out. So cardio and stuff like that's not really, I'm really confident in my cardio and stuff like that. Like um I think what it like I feel like I could do like 3 3 minute rounds in my sleep. Like I've been doing enough decisions to like, but all it really changed was like small things in training. Like if I would be doing like shark tanks, for instance, like I'm doing 5 minute round shark tanks instead of 3 minutes, fresh opponent in every minute, which is not fun, like, but it once what like I feel sweet, like not sweet doing it, but like the more I've done of them, I'm feeling good about myself. Like, and then like leading up to fights at amateur, I would do a lot of pads with my dad. So like I would just do like every day pretty much I would do like just the length of a fight, pad sessions with him, just mimicking a fight. So that's obviously changed to just doing 5 minute rounds instead of three. And I think in turn that's made me even feel fitter, like way fitter. Like, and I think, and then ban elbow and knee pads, get the elbow and knee the shit out of people in sparring, good crack. Like, so I think pro will suit me. I think like cardio is one of my strengths, and I think elbows and knees. Like I'm quite a lanky bantamweight, like, so I think stuff like that suits. I think it gives a striker a lot more. Like if you think about it, like when you're grappling someone at amateur, like in a 3 minute round, if someone takes you down at amateur, you're almost like, fuck, I've pretty much lost this round. Like based on judges here, like you're like someone take you down, take you about like around a minute to get up. That's a third of the round. And you're gone, and you're like, I have to do something massive here to get that back. Whereas someone could take you down, hold you down for 2 minutes, still have 3 minutes left in a professional round. So I feel like there'll be a lot less there's not as much need to panic. Like amateur feels like a sprint. You need to be like winning. You feel like you need to be winning every second of it. Whereas pro, I think it'll suit me as well because although my last fight I got two knockdowns in the first 9 seconds, I feel like I like working my way into a fight, and then I think like you can see I'm able to knock people down with 7 ounce gloves. So I think 4 ounce gloves will suit me.
I think it will, and like you said, being brought to the ground, and you touched on them there briefly as well. You've got the elbows now on the ground. You've got
Yep.
knees in certain positions, um, which is like you said. I was talking to someone about this before. Solomon Simon, he's very wrestle heavy, and he said it's hard in 3 minutes if you don't get anything done and they land a big strike, you could lose. And like you said, you've got that extra time to work to get back up. You don't have to panic as much. So how excited are you for the new weapons, the elbows and the knees?
Yeah, I've been drilling them a lot with like I feel like it's good the way it's worked out. Like because I feel like if it had been, even though this fight's been agreed, like against the same opponent's been agreed for a while, I feel like if it had been pro, you might have felt yourself getting a bit, I don't know, stale this long. But I feel like because I was training anyway for ages, like, and I train every day anyway when I don't have a fight because my family run the gym, like, so I'm in here every day anyway. But I feel like just upping it to pro, like the last 6 weeks, and they're probably like the hardest part of your training. That's probably when you really ramp it up anyway. Like, so I feel like um getting that in, like just throwing the elbows and training knees, I'm getting the timing on them right. And actually, might have been 2 nights ago, I was doing pads with my dad, practicing the elbows, and actually caught him on the nose, made his nose bleed, like, so he wasn't happy, like, so if you see him in the corner, his nose might look a bit wonky, like, but no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll suit me, like.
Yeah, no, and I'm really looking forward to it as well. I won't be there, but I'll be watching on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
With this coming up, you spoke about your father there. Talk to us about how important he has been to you, your career, and your journey through martial arts.
Yeah, like, wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for him, like, so like started karate when I was 3, done karate all my life, and got into like teen MMA stuff like that. But he like all of us, like all the coaches in our gym, like, most of the fighters, including me, like all have full-time jobs as well. My dad, a lot of people think this is his job. Like, he has a full-time job, 9 to 5, but he's here every night of the week. He's taking the kids class right now, like from 4-year-olds right up to big ugly fighters. Like, he takes them all, like, and he's been doing, it's actually the 25th anniversary of our gym being founded. So he's been doing this for 25 years, like, and I think our team's like getting a lot. It's a good feel with the team right now because there's a few of us going pro, but there's a lot of young guys who are getting out to fight, and there's a lot of boys starting their amateur careers, and it's good for me because we're all around the similar size. A lot of people pushing you, and I feel like it's not a really massive team, but I think that it's a good core group of fighters there, like, and I feel like team can even. I feel like some teams, some big MMA teams are maybe too big, and you're wondering like how do each of them get individual attention. Whereas I would say fighting in our gym, like, I would say there's maybe probably roughly about 20 proper like people competing. Like, there's loads of people go to the gym, but 20 proper people who are properly competing. And like my dad's in every one of their corners, giving each one of them, individual attention, and it's a real good team bond. Like, there's about 5 boys from my gym fighting the week after, so we're all training together, and everyone's pushing each other on. Like, so it's great. Like, and it's a great team support as well because this is actually the most tickets I've sold for a fight as well. Got a bus leaving from our gym, and it's near like double the amount of tickets I've ever sold for any other fight. Like, so it's a real good bond in the gym at the moment.
Good, good. It's good that you've got so many tickets sold. You're going to have the support there. Like I said, they're going to have a savage time in the Millennium Forum. But I'm going to let you go. Is there anything you want to say before you go about the fight, or just anyone you want to shout out that has helped you to this stage?
Yep, obviously all my training partners, my brother Ahmed, my dad, all the boys in the gym who are fighting and competing, all come down every day to help each other. I'll shout out. Really happy to have sponsors on board, which has helped me a lot, especially needing to get an MRI scan for pro. I near forgot about it until it was actually, me and Emmett got a few rounds in with Kieran Brady, and we were both talking about going pro, and he was like, remember, you need an MRI scan for this. And I was like, fuck, shit. So the sponsors have helped with that. So there's Flex Communications, Collective by Boyd, Signs with Fleur, Kinetic Sport Belfast, who's been helping me a lot with sports massages and stuff like that. Yeah, so, and then just everyone who bought a ticket, all my friends and family who are going down to the fight. So buzzing and can't wait to go.
Perfect. I can't wait to see this debut. Like I said, I'll be watching it online. It's going to be a fantastic show. I want to wish you the best of skill as well going forward. And I want to thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure again to catch up with you, because it's a while since our last one, a long time since the last one. So hopefully we won't leave it too long. But good luck this weekend.
Cheers. Thank you, Dave.
Perfect. Thank you.